What's good? It's your boy Postman, LiveOffBeats.com, LiveOffBeats.com. I'm here, man, with a special message. This one's going to be one of the most important videos that you ever going to watch if you're a music producer looking to make money, especially in the future. Because that's what this video is about, obviously. If you read the title, how are you going to make money in the future as a producer? Things are rapidly changing in the music industry. I mean, rapidly changing. And Jay-Z said it best recently when he bought the title. He said, as artists, I can always go on tour and get endorsements and stuff, but really in this new era with streaming and all this stuff, it's the producers and the writers who aren't getting paid, who are getting slaughtered, man, who are going to have to take second jobs because, they don't have no way of really getting income. And I'll explain that statement in a minute, what he meant by that and what's happening, but this monumental change is happening. But shout out to Jay-Z. He said that in 2015. I've been saying this shit since 2007. I wrote a book on it. It was a short book that I put together called The Death of the Music Production Industry. And some of you got that, a long time ago. I gave it out for free. I didn't even sell it. I gave it for free in exchange for people's name and email addresses. And I gave it out for free. And in the book, it says exactly what's going to happen. That's why I'm called the prophet of all prophets, because I'm telling you what's going to happen, not what's happening today. Because you know what's happening today because you already here. So I laid out, in 2007, I laid out this was going to happen and how you're going to have to transition. I saw this, all these years ago, and they're just now talking about it, but that's because I prophesied it, if you may speak, not in a, woo-woo spiritual and all that type of sense, but just in the sense of predicting the future, one who properly predicts the future, that this was going to happen. And I also told you how you're going to have to protect yourself. Now, fortunately, things have changed as well. One thing that I didn't foresee was the streaming boom. I mean, I did foresee it, but I didn't foresee it in this manner, the way they're doing it now. Because we were streaming. Streaming is not new. Like, first of all, they're acting like streaming is new. I'll get into that in a second. First, let me say, man, shout out to Microsoft and the Surface Pro. I need to get an endorsement from them because I love this thing. You hear me talk about it because my productivity has gone through the roof with this Surface Pro because I can take it with me anywhere. It's so small and it's touchscreen. I mean, like, I can't even use a regular laptop anymore because it's just so inefficient. Like, I mean, you got this pen right here and I just touch the screen when I need to do things. I mean, using a keyboard and I got a little keyboard attached to it so I can type, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even use a mouse anymore, and it's just, man, it's been so efficient and beautiful, man. I have a little case that I carry it in, man. I can carry it anywhere. I used to carry on these big laptop cases and all that, man. I'm telling you, man, this Surface Pro is the truth, and that's why I'm able to do these videos because my productivity can go through the roof because I can do quality videos like this. I know I'm in heaven, because I know when for some reason the lighting gets weird whenever you have like a white background or whatever, so it looks like I'm like glowing in heaven or whatever. But I am in heaven, goddamn it, heaven on earth. But I digress all that. But anybody got to connect with Microsoft, I help them push this thing, man, and because I love this thing, man. I think they're marketing it totally wrong. People don't even understand the benefit of having this thing, man, this tablet/laptop, and the way it's detachable, the way you can fold it up and all that stuff, man, and how quality it is and how much space you get on it, how fast it is. So just if you wanted your productivity as a business owner or something go through the roof, man, these Surface Pros are just the truth. But anyways, I digress. Back to the how you gonna get paid in the future as a producer? I predicted this. Now, first of all, let's get on streaming. Now everybody's in the streaming craze. I've been streaming my music online since 2002. I was a rapper as well as a producer, and I used to produce for rap groups. In fact, some of our music is still online. I still have music online from when I was 16 years old. It's scary because I'm like, man, it's just like a time I was listening the other day at my girl's SoundClick, and I was like, yo, listen to these tracks I did when I was like 16 years old. Like, I was rapping and producing. And I'm like, damn, first of all, I was like, God damn, I'm old as hell now, man. Time flying. But then I'm like, damn, I've been online streaming and advertising stuff online. With SoundClick, that's what that is. I was streaming online back before it even had high-speed internet. We were still using lo-fi streaming, mp3.com days where you could stream. So it's nothing new. They always try to make it seem like this shit is like this new phenomenon. We've been streaming. I've been putting our mixtapes online and letting people stream them and stuff. But now they figured out how to create one big pool of music because it was an independent thing. And now, they got the mainstream. But what's happening with the streaming world now is exactly what I predicted would happen. The music is pretty much free. I mean, you go on Spotify. I mean, every album now, I don't even go buy it, really. I'm a supporter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would go on iTunes and buy people's album, but it's not. I don't go in there and not buy them because I don't want to support. I don't buy them because it's inefficient. When I can just go on Spotify, search. I got Spotify on my phone. I pay $13 a month. I search for it, and the whole album's there to listen to. It's just so much more efficient, especially when you have an iPhone, where if you download that shit on your computer, you can't even transfer it without going through all that iTunes bullshit. I hate the iPhone, man. By the way, Microsoft called me so we can make a better phone than this iPhone crap. And it's just crap because as a producer, you can't download your music files on there. You only can sync it to certain computers. It's really inefficient in terms of, you know, they don't have the music person at heart. But that's digress on that anyway. But the streaming has made it much more efficient. So why would you go buy music? I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at the evolution of music, I mean, it was going to go this way. It's not nothing rocket science. You had 8-track, you had vinyl, you had big records. Then you had 8-track, then you had tape players, then you had CDs, then it went to digital, and then after it got to digital downloads and whatnot, and putting it on your computer and stuff, and then it went to streaming. I mean, this is the natural progression. Now, here's the issue that you're going to deal with as a producer. This is what Jay-Z was talking about. Let's break down his comments. He said, me as an artist, I'm going to be good, but it's the writers and producers who are going to have to take second jobs. They're not going to get paid. Now, why is he saying that? Now, again, I said this years ago, but why is he saying that? Because what Jay-Z's talking about is that as an artist, they're getting paid to go on tour because they're the face of the music. So they go on tour and they're reaping in millions of dollars on tour. I mean, an artist's money on tour, they're making boatloads of money, especially when they go overseas. They just make crap loads of money. Now, a producer, historically, your money came from back in the music industry. Your money came from royalties. You would get points on the album. Your big money, your real money. Now you may get like an advance or something like a fee. Was a bit smaller. There was a time where, you know, super producers had these big fees. Not crazy, actually, were very fair fees, but, you know, were bigger fees. But ultimately, as a producer, your average producer, hey man, if you can get placement on a good album, remember albums were selling millions of records. So a good placement, you're getting mechanical royalties. You're getting, for every sale of the album, you get 3 points on the album. That's pretty good. That's 3% of the album. So you're doing pretty good. You know what I mean? If you sell a record sells 8 million records or 5 million records or even 10 million records, and let's say you produce 2 tracks on there, and let's say you had 4 points or 5 points on there, I mean, you did pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as your back end money because of the sales. Also, if you got radio play, if you had the actual single, now you're getting your royalties, your sync royalties, and you're getting paid every time that song gets played. So that's also good too. You know what I'm saying? Because now every time that song gets played on radio, on TV, they do a show with it in a club, you're getting paid every time that song is spinning. So that was good money too if you got a single. Fast forward to today. Now that's how historically producers in the industry got their money. You understand what I'm saying? It was through sales of these huge albums, and through the royalties you get from it playing all over the place if they got the single. So now you transition, and a lot of times producers, a lot of y'all don't know this, and I'm gonna drop the bag on some of y'all don't know this. A lot of time those fees were really just advances. So producers, I would never do that shit. But don't ask me, I know business too well to do some shit like that. But most of the time, producers, like when you say a producer got paid $15,000 up front for his beat, generally they were having producers get advances. And then that would come out of their royalties on the back end. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a $15,000 check from a label, generally they wanted to see, you had to pay that back, out of your points and your royalties on the album. A lot of producers were signing those type of deals, but it was fine because, again, you were going to probably make, you can make $100,000, $200,000 on the sale of the album, because you got points. Now, fast forward to today, albums just ain't selling. Everybody's streaming the albums. The artist ain't even getting paid off of streaming. So, the producer, but the artist doesn't care. And I'm going to tell you why the artist doesn't care. This is going to be the best time in the history for artists, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you're going to have to protect yourself as a producer and what the new wave of making sure you eat and are supported, even though, the whole industry is built off you, but then you're not going to get fucking paid. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to take a job, but the whole goddamn industry is built on your back, your creative gift that God gave you. They making billions of dollars off of it, and you got to fucking take a second job. Nigga, I'll smack the shit out of somebody tell me that. You understand what I'm saying? You got to hear what I'm saying. That frustrates me, man, for even Jay-Z to even have to say that because he's saying the truth, but that's frustrating. You know what I'm saying? He's saying I can go on tour. Now, Jay said I can go on tour. So he's saying basically the albums ain't going to sell. Fine. But because I got so much exposure, people still listen to the album. Now they're listening, consuming the music at the highest rate ever. Now I got all these people that know me. That's more important than them buying $10 to spend buy an album. More importantly, now I have a fan. And that fan may not buy the music because it's free. And hell, I don't care. Just as long as I got a fan now that's connected with my music. Because now when I go to their city, or any close to their city, they're a fan of mine. And they'll buy tickets to my shows. They'll buy my merchandise. And then I can go and get other companies say, hey, look, I have this huge fan base that listen to what I'm saying. How about we work a deal where you give me $10 million and I'll promote your company? Jay-Z went and did that with the Samsung deal, right? Hey, let's put this app together and we'll promote Samsung. Basically, that's all it was promote Samsung. They gave him $5 million for 5 million advanced copies. But ultimately, that's just rhetoric for, look, I'll endorse Samsung by releasing it on this app, and you pay me $5 million. You understand what I'm saying? How much the producers got paid, I don't know. I can't speak on that because I don't know that deal. But if I had to guess, I would say nothing. You know what I'm saying? But they might have. They might have got, maybe some check on the back end. Hopefully, I know Jay takes care of artists and stuff from what I hear, and producers and writers. But I'm just saying, that shows you the artists don't give a fuck, because that music becomes a lost leader to do other things because they're the visible party. You understand what I'm saying? So now they're on tour, they're performing, and they're making $80,000, $100,000 a show. Some of these artists that are getting top end, some of them are even at the low end. Overseas, you're getting $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 a show for your B artist, your B-list artist, and you got top artists making $500,000 to $1 million a show. But that's off the back of your music you produce, but you're not getting no $500,000. You're not getting shit. You may get a little bit of money from the fact that they played your music at the show, some small royalty, so they can go and make millions of dollars this year using the same music that you produced in your lab, and they go and make millions of dollars, and yet the music ain't selling, so where's your money coming from? You understand what I'm saying? This is very important to understand what I'm saying. They're not tricking me, not fooling me. You know what I'm saying? The music industry is going to go through a boom. It went through a bust because they were selling music, and the music now is becoming a free loss leader. So what's going to happen is the music industry now is going to become a marketing industry. So I don't care who buys this music. I want it out there for free. I just want you to like it, listen to it, and become my fan. And now I'm going to sell you other shit through endorsement deals, through my own products, through my shows, through my tours. And so now the record company finna make billions of dollars again, because they no longer trying to sell music. They just want their artists to be famous. And they just want you to have fans, because fans will buy shit from you. That's what fans do. They won't buy music, not because they don't want to support, but because the shit is free and it's more convenient to stream it. It's just more convenient. So it's not that they're not your fan. I'm a Jay-Z fan. I would love to support Jay-Z. When he comes to my town, I'm going to go buy tickets to his shows. I'm not going to buy his album because it's on Spotify. You understand what I'm saying? I just want to listen to it. And I enjoy it. It's more efficient for me to just pull it up on Spotify, listen to it, and then go to the next, because I love to consume so much music. So, what you're saying, Postman, okay, I get all that. I feel like depressed now. I'm not going to be able to make money. No, what am I going to do? Well, here's the what's going to have to happen. Producers going to have to say, okay, forget the royalty structure. Don't let them run that jive on you that you're going to make all this money in the back end. If it's a hit single, maybe. But other than a hit single where you're getting all these royalties from, you know what I'm saying, your royalties off being played, then where you going to get money from? When they're fucking streaming all the music and the artist sells 30,000 records, 100,000 records they may sell, that shit's going to decrease all the way down to where they're not selling nothing. In fact, it's going to be a point where they just quit even, they're going to still do the little iTunes thing, because iTunes make billions of dollars off that, but at the end of the day, it's going to be time where artists is going to release it and say, man, I don't need no, fuck it, man, just here's it for free. You know what I'm saying? Here's it for free. They're already doing that. You know what I'm saying? Here's my whole album for free. Stream it, love it, become my fan, enjoy the music, and I'm going to come sell you some other shit since you're my fan now and you love and trust me. You understand? And now it's like, okay, well, where does the producer fit in? Well, here's how you're gonna have producers. You're gonna have to go to a different structure of being paid. And you gotta be bold with what you're doing. You gotta understand what I just told you. So when you go into a meeting, you can say the same shit that I'm saying, because they're gonna try to play you, not in a bad way, just in a way that's better for them. You're gonna have to charge fees. Producers are gonna have to go to a high fee based structure, and what that means is that you're gonna have to get paid for a project. One-off beats are okay, but generally you're going to want to get paid per project, and you're going to have to charge exorbitant amount of rates, because that project is what's going to generate millions, tens of millions of dollars for them. Off the fact this album is so hot and all these people love it. They didn't buy it, they streamed it, but off the back of the music you produced, they're going to make tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars, because they got all these fans now. The fans love the music. They're going to the shows, ticket sales. They're endorsing the different products now, and so that's off this hot ass album you produced or you helped produce. So you're not seeing that money, so you're gonna have to say, wait a minute. You're gonna have to come to the negotiating table and say, look, this is what you guys are gonna do in the future. This is an investment. You know what I'm saying? Now you have to treat it as this is an investment, because if you put $1 million into this album and you guys spread it and all that, you're gonna make $1 million off shows. You're gonna make that money back at times tenfold on your endorsements, tenfold on your merchandise. You understand what I'm saying? So you're gonna make that money tenfold. So this is an investment. So to invest in music, in my music, you're gonna have to pay me, hundreds of thousands of dollars up front. You're gonna have to put $1 million into this album, because before they could say, well, it's not gonna sell, so we can't put $1 million into the album. But now that's not relevant. It's not about if it sells or not. It's about you want to invest in the highest quality music possible, so you can get the highest amount of fans possible. So now you're gonna sell them other things. And I'm not asking you for a cut of all those other things. So hey man, you want me to produce 5 tracks in the album? It's gonna cost you $600,000. Now, of course, that you're like, man, that's and of course you're not gonna charge an indie. We're gonna get to the indie and all that stuff later. Well, I mean, this is how you gotta deal with major labels. You got in the future. This is how you get in the future. Maybe not today. They're gonna be like, well, that's too much. But and again, we're not talking about today. I'm telling you what's gonna be happening in the future in the coming times. This is what's gonna have to happen for producers. You're gonna have to say, look, man, you want 5 tracks or 4 tracks? I need $400,000, $300,000, $400,000, because ultimately, when this is done and they go, the shit don't sell, but it streams all over the place, and they're making millions of dollars. You gonna be starving. If they pay you $10,000, $15,000 for 3 tracks, and you like, man, I'm good. They go on that same album, going and make them tens of millions of dollars. And what do you got? What are you gonna do? $15,000 won't even last you 2-3 months. And the way inflation is happening now with the dollar, that shit won't even last you a month. $15,000 won't even last me fucking 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So it might even last me a month nowadays. So the real thing is, you got to think about your future. Like, okay, well, I know if I get $300,000 from this project, and the label was like, hey, yeah, man, that's a lot of money that we're going to invest in this project, but it doesn't matter, because you're going to make that money back 10 times fold. You can do 360 deals with artists. You know what I'm saying? Or the labels have 360 deals now with these artists where they're getting a piece of everything anyway. So they don't let them try to run that game on you. Like, oh, well, we're not selling records. They don't have to sell records. You're getting a piece of their touring. You're getting a piece of their artists' endorsements. You're getting a piece of everything that their artists do. You understand what I'm saying? So, we got to stop playing games as producers and realize, now, here's going to be the challenge. The challenge is always going to be the young producers who, don't have no type of, responsibilities in their life. And so they don't care getting $500 for that track. So the label say, hey, man, okay, we'll pay you $1,000, man. They happy. Because they're not thinking about a career. They're not thinking about providing for a family. They're not thinking about their future. When you're young, you're just out there trying to hustle, man. You're happy to see $1,000. But at the end of the day, man, it's about protecting your future. And as Jay-Z said, man, it's going to be producers and writers are going to have to take second jobs. And he said, that's messed up, man. Those are the people who create the music. Are going to have to go take jobs 9 to 5 and do writing on the side. Produce a hit record and, help produce a major artist and get their sound right in order for them to go on and do tens of millions of dollars, and you got to go fucking work at McDonald's, man. What kind of shit is that? You understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand, as producers, producers have always been the most unprotected people in the entertainment industry. The music producer has always been the most. We have no goddamn real guild. We have no real music producers fucking guild or no goddamn union and all that shit. We've always been the most exploited. You don't know that, but I know tons of music producers. Every music producer that's ever made it got a story of them being exploited at one time because they were ignorant. And they were in there just making beats, and they was in there making millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars off of them, and they didn't even know it. And they was in there struggling, getting a check for $3,000-$4,000, just happy while they going to make tens of millions of dollars with it. I mean, that's just always been the case with music producers. So we have to stand up and say, okay, this is what we're going to demand. Now, again, the new change is going to be higher fee structures, upfront fee structures, and you may even allow them to do a payment plan. So, I would say payment plan structures are going to be real too, where you sign an agreement with the label. Say, okay, for my work I need $400,000, and I'll allow you to pay, quarterly. You have to pay me, $100,000 for 4 quarters. So that way it kind of alleviates the burden off them for a big lump sum, but you continue to see your money, $100,000 a quarter, or maybe $60,000 a quarter for a full quarter. For a full year. Now what that allows you to do is. Now you're getting paid 3 times for the year, and you got a check coming in, steady check, and it allows them to put the music out and start to recoup some money from putting it out and doing tours and stuff like that. Because as soon as they put the album out, they go on tour, and then and reap that money back, and then also they can start doing some endorsement deals with the project and whatnot. Because what's going to start happening is albums are going to be advertising mechanisms as well. So you got to think about it. An album that streams 50 million times, 50 million people heard this album. So how much would an advertiser pay to get a quick commercial from that artist on that album? Now people are already going, oh my God, I would hate that, but you wouldn't. You would get used to it. And I would, as a company, I would pay tens of millions of dollars. You get a commercial, a 30-second slot for millions of dollars just to see 3 million people watch that shit. Now you're gonna have 50 million people listen to this, and this artist is gonna endorse your product in front of their fans and say, hey, I like this product. How many of those fans are gonna go and start purchasing that product? So another structure is gonna be getting money for that project before it even they even finish it. They're gonna sell commercial slots in the album. So track 3 will be a commercial, and track 5, but it'll be a smooth commercial. It won't be like no corny shit. It'll just be it'll flow into the album, of course. But that's how a lot of money they're gonna make $10 million off the album before they even fucking finish it, or before they even put it out, because they're gonna get big advertisers and say, look, we got a fan base, we got an audience, we're gonna get 30 million people listening to this album, and they're gonna hear this. Their fans are gonna hear them endorse your product, man. That's what it's gonna be. But again, it ain't got shit to do with the producer, right? So again, it gotta be a per project based payment structure where you're gonna get high fees and you can spread it out over time for them and say, hey man, you guys are gonna go on tour this year, you're gonna get endorsement for the album, you're gonna do these things, you're gonna this probably will generate for you $8 million or $10 million in revenue. So what I'll do is I'll take $400,000 for these 3 tracks that I'm giving you, and I'll take $100,000 or $300,000, and I'll take $100,000 a quarter, or we can sign a deal where we do $80,000 a quarter for the next 2 years. So spreading it out makes it easier for them and gives them time to recoup all that money. You understand what I'm saying? And then they recoup and they're happy because hey, they recouped. They make $10 million over the last 2 years off this streaming album they put out and all these different revenue streams, and they're only paying you $80,000 a quarter, and they're happy. But you got to get that on contract, of course. And you give them your bank, and you say, I want direct deposit, or you want a check, and you say, hey, make sure my check is in the mail. I want it every single quarter, and that's what you guys agree upon. But that's going to be the future. Now, for you guys independent, the future is going to still be a per project basis, but it's going to be a clientele basis. So you're going to find independent artists. A lot of these independent labels are popping up now because of the access to the marketplace all over the world just via the internet. So what you're going to find is you're going to find independent labels and independent artists and whatnot who don't have that type of money, but they're going to have to invest $10,000 to $20,000 in a project. So you're going to want to create full projects with artists, whereas you do 10 tracks and you get paid $15,000, and you say, hey, let's put together this project, you're going to get famous. You explain the same talking points I just gave you for the other one. You can get endorsements, blah blah blah, and then you put that together, and you get paid a huge upfront fee, $15,000, 10, 15. That's not huge. I keep saying huge, but relatively huge compared to what you've been getting. And per track, you maybe should be exclusively $1,000, $2,000. All these exclusive tracks, $1,000 to $2,000 exclusively per track. And you want to find a client base, so you want to find a solid, 5, 10, 15 clients that come back to you over and over again, and you're charging them $1 to $800 to $2,000 per track. And then you always have your deals where you have your deal structures where if you get 4 tracks for $2,500 or something like that, because ultimately you're gonna have to get higher fees because you have to live off this. And with inflation, getting $20 a beat, leasing is still cool, whatever. But it's about now finding clientele that are serious, that are going to generate capital with their music, that are looking for quality music, and you're charging higher fees for your projects. And that's ultimately, you're going to scale it to, if it's an independent artist, of course you're not going to charge them $300,000. You may charge them $15,000. You got to see what their budget is, for a project. If it's a major label, they say, hey, we want you to produce a whole album, and you might be upwards of $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Because again, how much money they're going to generate, and it's not about you. In your mind, maybe saying, "But that's a lot of money. They're going to. Why would they spend that much money?" It's not about, in business, ain't about how much you spend. It's about how much you get back. So it don't matter if you can spend $1,000 on an album, and if you only make $500 back, it's a loss. Or I could spend $1 million putting together this project and this album, and if it brings me back $10 million, I do it 100,000. I do it 100 times because it's about the return on investment. So you got to make them see that, hey, you're going to have a huge return on investment off of my music, off of my creativity, off of what I'm creating, off of the gift that God gave me. And I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and struggle, because I know producers who struggle, who are super producers at one time, who were great producers and made some hits and made some songs, but ultimately, you know, the artists go on and be great, very successful, reach still making music and doing tours to this day. And the producer ain't getting jack shit, man. They struggling. And I've seen it over and over and over again because of the way the structure of how producers been getting paid is the reason. You understand what I'm saying? The structure, and then so when the records ain't selling, the album sales ain't there, and then the royalties ain't there. So basically, the artist is still making money off the album. It's artists that are touring from the fucking 70s. You understand what I'm saying? It's artists that are touring making millions of dollars from the 80s, from the 90s. Making millions, all the artists. There are producers who made hit records 5 years ago and they can't even pay their fucking bills now, because they have no way to get revenue from that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand that, you know, sometimes you have a good, you know, and also there's other revenue streams as far as, you know, TV and film. I get royalty checks every quarter, TV, film, and all that stuff. But I'm strictly talking about in terms of creating music for the industry, or creating music in terms of independent music, like your music in terms of placements on albums and projects, you know, not in terms of film. That's a whole nother, there's other ball games out there. Don't get me wrong, there's other ball games where you can make money. We'll talk about those. But I'm strictly talking about the future producers getting paid and for projects, albums and songs and stuff like that, because the future is coming, man. And you got to understand what's happening, man. And again, I just say this, the producer have historically, the music producer has been the most unprotected person. That's why I meet so many producers who I know their name, and then I know the work they've done, and when I meet them and when they hit me up, they're struggling, or they don't have the finances that they think they should have, and they probably should have. And the artists that they produce for is going on making hella money, man, doing endorsements and doing shows and making all kind of money, and the producer has always been left in the cold because they're the behind the scenes guy. You're the guy behind the scenes, but it's different than a writer. It's different because you are the music. You're the one that created the goddamn music. You understand what I'm saying? And it's reversed in our mind because we're not the famous one. I'm going to psychology now, but I'm just because I be trying to get y'all to understand this. Y'all don't feel me. God gives the music through you, and you get paid the least. The artist is just a face. Half the time, somebody else wrote it, somebody else produced it. The artist, all they had to do was go in there and sing it, be the face, and they make millions of dollars because they're the famous one. Fine, I'm not hating on that. All I'm saying is the music starts with the music producer. It starts with the music producer. And that is everything. And then the writer comes, you need a great song. I'm not saying you don't need a great performer. You need those things. But ultimately, it starts with the God-given talents of the music producer and the dedication and hard work and skills you put in order to be able to create and fine-tune your ear and fine-tune your gift of being able to express music and sounds and put them in ways that move people, that bring people to tears, man. And ultimately, that's what it's about. And so somehow the structure has been made to where you get the least compensation, but yet you have the most important role. So it's interesting. That's why when you have that hot producer of the moment, all these artists want to go to them because the people feel that sound. They're not just feeling the artist on that sound, they're feeling that sound. So all the producers say, I got to go get DJ Mustard because DJ Mustard's music is connecting with the people. The music is connecting with the people. You understand? These DJs overseas right now that are getting $20, $30, $40 million a year, their music is not artist based. A lot of their music is just pure beats. They're making trap beats, they're making EDM beats that are generating them millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, and it doesn't even have an artist on it. So I mean, you got to really understand that you've been hoodwinked, man. You've been had, you've been tricked. But yet, here's an industry predicated on your gift, and yet you don't even think you can have a career in it, man. I mean, it's just a hilarious thing, man. You got, man, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry predicated on your gift, and producers all the time asking, man, can I really live off me? Is it really possible? Can I really make any money as a producer? I'm like, dude, okay, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You see billion dollar industry being generated from music, and then the guy who creates the music is asking me, is it possible for him to have a career that where his gift, which is a rare gift, generates billions and billions and billions of dollars, but yet they don't even believe and know that they can even make any fucking real money with it. So, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, man. When you've been hoodwinked, man. You've been tricked as a music producer. And I see the trick because I've had the blessing, God gave me the blessing of dealing with tens of thousands of producers. So whereas you're alone, or you just have your friend who's a producer, or you may have a few that you talk to, but I have a wide scope and see how all of us have been tricked, how we all think the same, how we all are moving the same, and how we all been told and believe the same bullshit. I'm like, wait a minute, it's a conspiracy here, because how do we all think this, even though the evidence shows us otherwise, man? But it's the structure, man. It's the guy who's the most important to the music industry gets paid the least. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got some super producers who've made tons and tons of money because they have, those are extraordinary figures. But I mean, those come once every generation, man. One producer every 5 years or 10 years that's worse than NBA odds. You can't depend on that. You know what I'm saying? Just becoming that, it's gotta be people that are behind the scenes that create the music. DJ Mustard don't make every song on every album. It's a lot of producers that people never heard of that are working behind the scenes to help produce the music. They just don't have the fame yet, or whatever the case may be. But that you just as important, man. So I went on a little rant at the end because it's just crazy, man. When you study economics and you start to see how economics works, and I'm a lover of study. I'm a study of economics, and you just see that it's crazy that the guy who creates the music and that generates billions and billions of dollars for everybody else, and yet they believe that somehow they can't make money. Huh? What would happen if every music producer went on strike right now? You know what happened if every music producer said, I'm going on strike, we're not making no more music? But we can't think in that collective because we're not unified. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a union. We don't have no type of guild or nothing like that. It's just every producer out for himself like a fucking animal. So it's like, the Writers Guild, when they don't like what the studios are doing, they say, we're not getting paid, nigga, ain't none of us writing. You know what I'm saying? For a music producer, we're disunified. So if I say, okay, I'm not producing no more, if y'all don't get, we gotta change the structure, then you got another producer who's just like a savage, like a little fucking animal, who just a bum, who would just be, okay, well, I'll do it for $10, man, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not thinking, you know what I'm saying? Not thinking as grown adults. Like, man, we gotta stick together. We gotta start to have some type of standard so that way we can feed our children, our children's children can feed off the thing that we love to do. Not just be scrambling and scavenging for a fucking quick buck and say, what would be good for the community? Because if we all come together and we all start to realize our worth and we all demand that we create structures where we get paid and we can live this lavish life as well because we create the music, then the shit will start happening for us. You know what I'm saying? So we got to unify as producers, man, and stop thinking so poor. And the way you do it is you got to respect yourself, man, and say respect your craft and see the value and the worth in yourself and the gift that you've been given on this planet, man. You have to really value it, man, and see that it's valued on the planet, man, and then that'll stop you from whoring yourself and your gift out, and that'll stop the next producer and the next producer, and now you have a bunch of talented quality producers who just refuse to whore out their music and devalue themselves and struggle and live off fucking scraps while other people making billions of dollars off of it. You know what I'm saying? And then what'll happen is things will begin to change, and we'll come up with better structures and fee structures, and we'll say, hey man, if you want it, you got to pay for it because it's an investment. It's not a expenditure. It's not a expense. It's an investment when you invest in the music. When you invest in a music producer. Anyway, man, I want to rant and tangent. It's supposed to be a 10-minute video, 33 minutes, man. Trying to just my passion, man. It's been my passion. I've been in this game for so long. I grew up in it, man. So appreciate everybody watching. Go to LiveOffBeats.com if you haven't, man. There's so many videos, man. There's just so much shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I could put this and sell this information, all that shit. That's the new thing. Everybody's copy and post, man, and everybody. That's good, man. Just motherfucking do you, man. Just spread the game and spread awareness, man, because it's not my information. It's just information that needs to be heard to music producers, and the universe is going to get it to you one way or another, man, because you ask, you shall receive. So that's what's happening, man. But, I want to get too spiritual on y'all, because then y'all start running from that. You know what I'm saying? Just have a good day, man. Stay motivated, and just go out here and understand, man. Use this right here, too. Visualize and see yourself as having it. You understand what I'm saying? And new ideas and new structures that come to you. And new, you just gotta. It's here too, man. It starts here, man. It's this cold game, man. So it's here, then it's here, man. Then it's physical. For first, you gotta make sure you see it, and then you go out and be it, man, and do it, man, and work your ass off. But it shouldn't be work, man. It should be something you love doing, man. It's 35 minutes. I love this shit, man. It's 35 minutes, man, and you know what I'm saying. And it don't feel like work. So I holla at y'all, man. Peace. Do your thing, man. LiveOffBeats.com. Let's go. We getting it right now. We here now.